claiming the former president smells bad.
The donut has a distinct smell. It's like body odor with kind of like a scented makeup product.
Donald, is that you?
Okay, so I think we can all agree that that was gross, and designed to perfectly get under Donald Trump's skin, and it'll probably be successful in that mission. So this is what the Lincoln Project does, and this is what they do perhaps better than anyone else, which is just hone in on the stuff that's going to make Donald Trump really angry. And it shouldn't work anymore. It really shouldn't, because he should never see those ads. If you were Donald Trump, there's no reason that you would expose yourself to what the Lincoln Project makes about you, whether it's this focusing on the fact that he smells. And by the way, if you're not familiar, this is sort of re-upping what Adam Kinzinger has said about his odor, how Kinzinger thinks it's weird that more Republicans don't talk about it. And Kathy Griffin has previously talked, you could hear her in that video, talked about how much he smelled on the set of The Apprentice. And they also did, the ad Lincoln Project did a week ago, about how he's losing his mind, basically. He has Alzheimer's or something like that, dementia. And so he should not pay attention to it. But he does, clearly. He talked about that last one. He'll probably talk about this. And so they know that it works. They know that they raise the money, they make the ads, it gets under his skin. That generates more money for them to make more ads. And by the way, a lot of money. So if I am critical of the Lincoln Project, as I was for their last ad, and kind of am for this, because that was my overall impression of that ad, is I kind of want American politics to be better than this. Like, I don't want us to just show dirty baby diapers and like point at the other guy and be like, they stink. I don't want it to be the Ron DeSantis pudding ad. Like, I want us to be better than that. I think we can have a debate about whether we are better than that or not. But I want you to bear in mind, it's a lot of money. So in 2020, they raised about $90 million, the Lincoln Project did. And there were concerns, especially back then, about what was being done with this money. Because apparently more than half of it went to firms run by the group's founders, which is like they're sort of getting that money then in a very real sense. $27 million paid to a small firm controlled by Reed Gallon. $21 million paid to a boutique firm run by former Lincoln Project member Ron Steslow. So this is tens of millions of dollars. And many, even when it goes to the ads, it goes to production costs and overhead and consulting fees and things like that. This is a lot of money. That's not to say that it doesn't have an effect. They ran about $31.5 million in the midterm election cycle to try to benefit Democrats. And so, look, there's certainly a case to be made that this is a good thing monetarily. And I know for many of you watching this, you probably really enjoy those ads. You might have enjoyed that one. I, to some extent, do. I'm a little bit worried about what it says about American political discourse. But for me, it's more like at what cost? This isn't like some random kid just made an ad and put it out. They're raising tens of millions of dollars that conceivably could go to other things. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe you're a fan of like Democracy Now! Or something. Or maybe there's charitable organizations that could be benefited by this money. And I know that not everything is zero sum, but it is weird that this is so successful in raising money. And I get that it gets under Donald Trump's skin, but is it worth $90 million in a single year, a single election? And in terms of the effect that it has, I don't know how you quantify annoying Donald Trump. The worse he gets, the more harmful potentially he is to America. So I'm not sure that that's necessarily the best thing. It's not like mocking him has driven him from politics. Clearly, that's not going to work. So then we have to talk about the other side, which is the Democrats and anti-Trump Republicans who see it. Clearly, these ads fire them up. There's even been studies that show that it really only affects people who are already inclined to be against Donald Trump. It's not persuasive necessarily. And firing up the base, I think, is worthwhile. Is this how we want to fire up the base, though? Like, you could fire up the base with a positive concept of an agenda that could be passed. Or you could fire them up that he smells. And maybe it needs to be both. I worry that, like, it is one thing to have a couple of ads from the Lincoln Project, but if this sort of thing becomes normalized, the idea that we should primarily look at politics through the lens of disdain and contempt for the other side, I worry about the long-term impact of that. And so, we get a little chuckle out of it when they show the droppings and everything. It's a little bit funny, and I have no doubt that it's based in truth, that he does positively reek. I have no doubt of that, but I am worried about the consequences.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.